it is time for the May video update. And first off, thank you so much to everybody who made The Devil's Hand New York Times bestseller again. Number 3 on the list. Awesome, moving up. Thank you so much, means the world to me. I have it right here. So this time I went out and actually got a physical copy here. So it's so crazy having grown up, reading the New York Times list, looking at books on that list, and imagining being on there one day myself. It's just totally surreal. So thank you so much. And there it is right there. You open it up, you go to the book review section, and then boom, open it up right there, and there's The Devil's Hand. That's number 3. So thank you so much. Can't tell you how much this means to me. Incredible, incredible. All right, but not everyone is happy that it is number 3 on the New York Times list. There are some Amazon reviews that are not quite so flattering. And remember, if you want to counter any of these, for me or for any of your favorite authors, it means the world to go and leave a review on Amazon, especially a 5-star. It helps so much. So if you want to counter any of these, feel free to head over and leave a 5-star. That would be fantastic. So here we go. Let's share a couple of these. 1 star, not a verified purchase. And this person says, the story doesn't really start till halfway through, and then it is bad. Horribly bad. Bad plot, totally unscientific. Ugh, all those months I spent researching. Boring as hell. All right, not for everybody, obviously. Here we go. Next one. Disappointed. I've grown tired of the wine and liquor snobs. Finally, while I fully support veteran-owned businesses whenever possible, the constant promoting of the author's friends has grown tiresome. Actually, this is a fantastic segue to Protector Breweries. And this is awesome. So a couple buddies from the SEAL teams started this as I was getting out of the military. And this one right here, check that out. Half-face blades. Look at that. Hey, for this person, this is a twofer. You get the SEAL beer and the SEAL Knife Company. And so half-face blades, you may remember, this is from Savage Son. We did a limited run of these a while back. So this is the Hunter Skinner used in that book. Sweet little blade right here. And then of course, boom, right here, this is the Carabito that is used, if you remember, in the Terminal List for the very memorable chapter right there. So that's that right there. And I'm gonna have a sip of this because don't ask what time it is. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Oh, that's good stuff right there. I was gonna put it in this SEAL Team 2 mug right there, but this thing is gigantic and I might need like 5 or 6 beers. I might have to wait till it's actually 5 o'clock here before I fill that thing up, but that's awesome. And I love this can. I mean, look at that. That is awesome. So Protector Brewery, and for this person also, Fieldcraft Survival, then another veteran-owned business right here. I'm gonna use their coaster. Why? Because it's an awesome coaster and I can. And yeah, Protector Brewery right there. Awesome. All right. What else? Let's continue. Oh, sorry, Friends Company, not veteran owned, but I actually went to high school with John Hart from Sitka. So this is the new Sitka jacket here. Love it. John Barklow, who I was in the military with at my first SEAL Team 5, and then he went up to Alaska. You've probably seen him on a bunch of podcasts. Awesome guy. Might remember him from Savage Son as well. But he's at Sitka right now, big game product manager. And yeah, John, thank you so much. Check him out, John Barklow, on Instagram. He's doing some really cool videos about gear and getting into the backcountry and stuff like that. So there are a few people more knowledgeable than John Barklow on these sorts of things. So go check him out. All right, that was for disappointed person here. Okay, next one. His first bomb. This read like a textbook or history book, not an action thriller. Quit at the 20% mark. Nobody likes a quitter. Just kidding, it's all right. Here we go, next one. Why is also, oh, not a verified purchase. Let's see what this person has a lot to say. They spent a lot of time on this. I'm just gonna hit a couple of the highlights here. Let's see, gave way too much backstory. He should have just let people go read it for themselves. I guess they mean research it for themselves. Was hoping for something more like Vince Flynn's Term Limits. Fantastic book. It's on my blog on my first reading list entry, by the way. But yeah, Term Limits, fantastic. Let's see. It's all well that there is a Democrat new president. He, of course, likes guns. Hilarious, which no one would ever believe now. I'll give you that. Just the typical canned fake political narrative. Well, it's actually based on John Dingell of Michigan, an ardent supporter of the Second Amendment, who happens to be a Democrat. And yes, there's a Democrat president in the novel, very young, veteran, and I just couldn't have a good guy that was anti-gun. So, that's what you get. But there's precedent. John Dingell, longest serving member of the House of Representatives with a very pro-gun stance, and a Democrat. So anyway, that's just how it is here. Let's see, what else here? I guess he just has to watch out or the Kingmakers wouldn't let him sell his book. Interesting. So there's a little part in The Devil's Hand about the Kingmakers, about legacy Kingmakers, and they're not what they used to be. Anyway, so that's actually in the novel for those paying attention, which this person was not. And yeah, interestingly enough, I didn't know at Simon & Schuster if somebody would ever tell me, hey, you might want to ease up on the freedom stuff. And no one's ever even hinted at that. No one has ever hinted at giving me a direction with which to go with the novels. It's all up to me, which is pretty cool because I didn't know what it was going to be like when I stepped into that realm. But no one's ever said, hey, you might want to put some more anti-gun stuff in there or something like that or anything like that. It's all, yeah, it's awesome, which is great. So total, complete freedom, which is amazing. Which is also cool about SIG. So SIG sponsors my podcast, and they were very clear from the beginning that, hey, they just want to be along on this journey and don't want me to stop talking about other guns or anything like that, so I can just continue to be me, which is very, very cool that they would say that. So awesome. So thank you, SIG, for everything. Of course, that 226 that went down range with me on every deployment. Just love that thing. What else do we have here? Let's see. The virus narrative will most likely come from our own government. Or our own intel agencies, not the Russians or Iran. All right. And it says, I'm giving you a 2-star because I couldn't even finish it. Once again, nobody likes a quitter. I feel stabbed in the back. I didn't expect this from you. Well, I apologize, but actually, no, I don't. Stop reading my stuff. We can still be friends, but just don't read my books anymore, or probably follow me on social media or watch these videos. All right, next one. This one, also not a verified purchase. It says, I have loved every book produced by this author. The story this time is wonderfully intriguing. I listened to the audio version. Oh, very cool. What bugged me was the author making all sorts of political jabs about presidents and gun control and so on. The comments were needless and distracting. I want entertainment when I read, not political rants. I get enough of that on TV and newspapers. Point taken. But my character is going to have opinions on the things that he's not just going to go through life without any opinions on these things, especially when he's using the very tools that he should probably think about. Oh, why is this? Why do people want to make this illegal? The same people that I'm serving, maybe. So anyway, it's there's plenty of other novels where the protagonist, the main character, goes through life, goes through the story without having any opinions, but that's not my stuff. So once again, stop reading me. And let's see, here we go. For the other person up here that doesn't like the gear, don't watch the Amazon series with Chris Pratt that's coming out sometime in 2022, I think. Don't watch it because it's possible that he wears Sitka gear and that he uses some of the gear that I use and that my protagonist in the stories uses in the series. So definitely do not watch the Terminal List 8-part series starring Chris Pratt, coming to Amazon Prime in 2022. All right, what do we got here? Last one. Too much filler. When a writer has limited plot, you get endless backstory on people and mindless banter that doesn't move the story forward. Like 4 sentences to describe Reese's coffee. Done with the series. That is a wonderful segue to my friends at Black Rifle Coffee. Oh yeah, awesome. And once again, I don't have any deal with any of these companies or anything like that. It's just veteran-owned company, my friends, and love what they do. And check that out. How professional is that? Has the Jack Carr Revenge Blend coffee in there. What? And some mugs and some other coffee over here. So awesome. Love when guys get out, military, law enforcement, firefighters, government service, that sort of thing, and go and find that next passion in life, whether that's coffee or writing or gunsmithing. It doesn't matter what it is. It's awesome. I love that. Finding that next mission in life, that next passion in life, combining those two and driving forward. Awesome. Awesome. All right, let's see. Time to go through some gear. Have a little break for a little sip. All right, some gear. Before I get to the reading list for May, where should I start here? I know. I think another friend, veteran-owned company. Bam, Dynamis. Whoa. So you've seen me talk about the Dynamis pack before. I have a black one. This one right here, obviously not as tactical looking, blue, so it blends in. So I like that a little better. When I get this into the sun and it starts to fade a little bit, it'll be even better as far as it blending in. But this thing is awesome. So this is probably the most well thought out backpack in the history of backpacks, especially when it goes for everyday carry. I won't go through it right here, but inside, Dom Rasso at Dynamis set up all the holsters in here to hold my P320 and extra mag, the blade in here, tourniquet, all that sort of thing. So these things are legit right here. Once again, Dynamis Alliance, buddy, I was at SEAL Team 2 with Dom Rasso, and awesome. And check that out. What does that look like for those of you out there who jump out of planes? Pretty sweet. Anyway, awesome. Okay, what else do we have here? Since I'm down here, I think I'll talk about this plate carrier. So this is my actual plate carrier, and at some point I'll do a video on this actual one, what was on it when I went down range and all that sort of thing. But and I'm very particular about my plate carriers. I like the S&S Precision stuff. I like the Cry stuff. I like the Blue Force stuff. This is from a company called Sentry that I just found out about right here. And this is pretty sweet. So it's just out of the box. I haven't used it yet, but I really like what they've done here. And I'm probably gonna take this to Thunder Ranch, I hope, at some point this year, and go through an urban rifle course wearing this, get it all set up ahead of time. But yeah, Sentry, they're made in Idaho, so made in the USA, just up the road here. So very cool. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I love all the stuff that you sent in the box. There's it looks like amazing stuff. I can't wait to give it a run. So very cool. All right, what is next? I think this thing. So John Gray Knives, he sent this. So this is a key keeper, I think you call it. So it fits, goes on your loop of your pants, something like that, and keys hang down. But it's also an attitude adjuster. So John Gray, thank you so much for sending this. And it came through Herman at Ashter Knives. You might have seen me talk about his stuff before. I love this little axe that he does, this personal defense axe. This thing is sick. So love this. Go to Clark Shooter on Instagram to see how fast you can take this out if you're carrying this on your belt. So it's pretty sick. Speaking of backpacks and being prepared and that sort of thing, Dark Angel Medical. So I have a bunch of these different platforms. This one just came in the mail, but I have a bunch of different larger platform trauma kits, first aid kits, that sort of thing. But this one is pretty sweet. So it comes in this cool case. I just opened it up, and I'll get this all set up, get the tourniquet taken out of its plastic here, go through this. And what's important when you get a platform bag like this that goes in typically your vehicle or something like that, maybe it's your cabin, home, that you go through it and you get some training. So Fieldcraft Survival, they're doing some awesome stuff. They're down the street here in Heber, Utah, and they do a bunch of medical training stuff, mobility training, of course, firearms, all that sort of stuff. So it's very cool to have them local and right down the road. So Dark Angel Medical, thank you for sending this along. Very cool. This will go in one of our vehicles. So thank you. Very cool. On that side of the house also, you've seen me talk about a little smaller. There's also Dark Angel Medical. So this one's in my backpack that I carry every day. So of course the scissors right there, tourniquet right there, and I throw in an EpiPen right here as well. So that's the one that's in my backpack every day. And then the cat tourniquet, of course, these things are awesome right here. I need to prep this one's brand new, but you got to prep these things a little bit ahead of time. And once again, training, I think it's actually, is it Stop the Bleed month, or I saw that pop up on Instagram anyway. So learning how to carrying a tourniquet, using how to use it, learning how to use it, not just carrying one, but having multiple. So we have these things, particularly these cats, all over the place in our vehicles, around the house, backpacks, all that sort of thing. And this comes in a little carrier right here from once again Fieldcraft Survival. So you can clip it different places, and yeah, can't have too many tourniquets, but most importantly, learn how to use them. Plenty of resources out there, especially now, so very cool. What else? Oh, speaking of the podcast from earlier, Mike Camacho, buddy, thank you. He sent me these, Danger Close podcast. Get a bunch of these made, so those are awesome. So thank you so much for thinking of me and making these and sending them my way. Very cool. Speaking of the podcast, I was on this Talking Lead podcast recently, and they sent these magazines, yeah, Leadhead Brigade, and these ones are from MFT, so I'll be giving these a run as well, but that's pretty cool. Sometimes when I'm at book signings, people come up with magazines to sign, M4 magazines, Glock magazines, SIG magazines, so very cool. I love doing that. Most of the bookstores that I sign in, it's a first for them to have somebody signing M4 mags, so that is very cool. And also from that podcast, they sent some of the SEAL 1 stuff, so I think this is a company from former SEALs started this one, so I'll be using this on some of my stuff. I haven't used it before, so I'm going to give this a shot. So thank you for sending that along. And then the ASP, guys, dude, how cool is that? Check that out. Can you see that? Cross tomahawks on an ASP. I've been carrying ASP batons for a long time. So yeah, these things, sweet. You gotta have one of these in your car. You gotta have one of these a bunch of different places. But once again, ASP batons. There we go. So these things are pretty legit and small, compact, very cool. And they've come a long way over the years too. I have these probably dating back 20 plus, well, over 20 years, for sure, because I think my first one before I went into the SEAL team. So very cool. Steven, Stand Strong Art, look what he did. Look at that patch, dude. Thank you. That is very nice of you, very kind. Sincerely appreciated. Stand Strong Art, awesome. All right, what is next? Jason Vincent, Field Ethos. Field Ethos has some really cool things coming. I won't spoil any of them, but Jason, thanks for sending this along. Thank you. I will enjoy it. Hopefully we'll enjoy it together here when you're in Park City, or if I track you down in the field. So thank you for sending this, and very cool of you to send the Toyota stickers. So those of you who have read the novels or followed me on the social channels know that I'm a Land Cruiser fan. So thank you for being so thoughtful. Awesome. Okay, what is next? This was cool. Oh my gosh. So check this out. So Melissa Crosby right here painted this. Crazy. So Land Cruiser P320, and yeah, amazing. So thank you. What crazy, what a talent. So Melissa, thank you so much for doing this. Really cool, amazing. All right, what else? Did I cover most everything? I think I did. All right, making good time. So time for some books. So you can go to my website, to the blog, and look at the reading list selections for May. And if you haven't seen these before, I was asked to put together a reading list before I left the military for the Naval Special Warfare Center, a professional reading list. So I did that. No idea if they actually used it or not, but I have a copy. I still have it. So I took that list and then added to it, added things that I read growing up that influenced me along the way. And I highlight 6 of those a month. So this month, here we go. Who has not read Unbroken? If you have not read Unbroken, drop down, start pushing them out, and then get this book, read this book, and then get it for your kids. I think it's an amazing story. Perseverance, resiliency, World War II, and hopefully for kids, if you give it to your kids and they're in middle school, they're in high school, it gives them a second of pause to just realize how fortunate we are in this country, and the debt of gratitude we owe to past generations who sacrificed so much, and to future generations who we're impacting with our decisions today. So we have the freedoms and options and opportunities because of the guys like this that are described in this story. Not just the main character, but not the main character, the actual person, Louis Zamperini. So read this book, pass this on to your kids, and hopefully it'll inspire them to read other stories of resilience, perseverance, sacrifice, not just from World War II, but from the inception of this country all the way up to today, and through today. So Unbroken, it spent 3 years on the New York Times list. So yeah, that's something right there. All right, Brad Thor, Lions of Lucerne. I read this book on the way to Ramadi in 2005. When I got there, I passed it off to a friend who in turn passed it to a friend. So this is not my original copy. The original copy is maybe in Ramadi, Iraq still, or perhaps it made it back in somebody's deployment bag, or maybe we were there with a bunch of Marines and Army, so maybe it made it back in one of their rucksacks. But anyway, Brad Thor's debut novel came out in 2002, and Brad is the reason that you're watching this video today, that I have novels today published through his same publisher, Emily Bessler Books at Simon & Schuster, with his same editor, Emily Bessler. So thank you, Brad, for everything. Thank you for cracking that door for me. I will never forget it. So if you have not read Brad Thor, you can jump in anywhere. He has a new book coming out July 20th, but there's some time between now and then to get caught up. So first one right here, Lions of Lucerne. Brad, thank you, my friend. All right, The Odyssey. So I read this in high school, and I'm sure most of you probably read it in high school as well. But I talked about the Iliad last time in last month's reading list, or no, in March's reading list, I think, because last month was all the books that I used for research for The Devil's Hand. But Odyssey, of course, follows Odysseus home after the Trojan War, after the events of the Iliad. If you haven't picked this up in a while, or if you read it only in high school, then I think it will have greater meaning today, that journey home. So the Odyssey should be on everyone's shelf, no doubt about it. All right, SOG, John L. Plaster. Man, so this came out when I was in Buds. I read it in my first platoon, and I was fortunate up to that point to have done as much reading as one possibly could, I think, on special operations, particularly on the Studies and Observations group. But this thing was awesome with this thing. I read this, 1998, I think it was. But some incredible stories in here, tactics, history, the weapons these guys used, and really, these guys sustained combat operations in Vietnam. We did not see that again until after September 11th, and we truly do stand on the shoulders of giants. So if you haven't read this one, check it out. There's a few more out there by John Plaster and by some other guys that were down there in the thick of it in Vietnam. So a watershed time in special operations history, and I recommend reading all you can by those guys that were back there doing the deed. So awesome. All right. The Pentagon's New Map. This one was on the reading list that I put together for the Naval Special Warfare Center. And I want to read this one again. Pentagon's New Map, when it came out, this was very disruptive. And I love that. I love disruptive thinkers. I love people that just aren't in doing something because it's a career and they're working their way up. So that was this book, and I want to read it again through the lens of these intervening years. So if you have not read the Pentagon's New Map, I highly recommend it. It was very impactful to me when I read it back in, I think I read this in 2008, I want to say, but still my original copy right here. But check that out. Good stuff. And The League of Night and Fog, David Morrell. So if you followed the past reading lists, you know that The Brotherhood of the Rose was extremely impactful to me growing up when I read that. The next one, Fraternity of the Stone, which was on the March reading list. And this one is the third in that trilogy. And what's so genius about this trilogy is that books 1 and 2 stand alone. And then the protagonists, the main characters from those first two, come together in this one, in The League of Night and Fog. And David Morrell, of course, created the character Rambo back in 1972 with First Blood, and just an incredible guy, and now a friend. So David, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for signing this first edition for me. This means so much. And if you haven't read David Morrell's stuff, there's a lot of it out there. So jump in anywhere, but Brotherhood of the Rose, Fraternity of the Stone, League of Night and Fog in particular were impactful to me along my journey. So check those out. Bam. All right. Is that everything? I think it is. Awesome. Hey, thank you again so much for everything, for making Devil's Hand number 3 on the New York Times list. And if you want to jump on Amazon, leave a review. I'd sincerely appreciate that as well. And then Wednesdays, Danger Close, Beyond the Books with Jack Carr. A new episode drops every Wednesday. So be sure and check that out. Apple, Spotify, and my YouTube channel. So with that, awesome. Thanks again for everything. Take care, be strong, keep fighting.